Hi there, my name is Lucy Claire Curran, and I am a vocational and effectiveness coach for millennials. I am coming here to you with another episode of what I call the Crayon and the Pen, which is my video blog about bringing the head and the heart together, finding effectiveness alongside wholeness. So finding ways to be effective and successful and productive while also being happy and balanced and healthy. So I'm glad to be here today. If you're tuning in, welcome. And if you're watching after the fact, welcome. And the theme that I wanted to share about today, which has been on my mind, is around the concept of reparenting. And one of the trends that I see for young people today is that they are seeking new paradigms or want to depart from the way their parents led their lives in some ways. Maybe they're sort of disillusioned with the system, quote unquote, or business as usual, or they sort of they look at their parents' generation and they sort of define these ways like, I don't want that, or they're kind of in reaction to that. Which is, it's not right or wrong, it's just something that I've noticed. And one thing that I've seen that can happen is that in that frame of mind, when you're in reaction to something, you're kind of pushing back against something, young people are not always finding alternatives. I think my dog's about to bark. So it's one thing to define, this is what I don't want, right? But it's actually a different exercise to define what one does want. So I think it's totally reasonable for the millennial generation to kind of push back, to question the status quo, to voice concerns or criticisms. I also think it's really important to define for ourselves what we do want, and part of that is what I call reparenting. And this is not at all a criticism of like the baby boomers. There she goes. Okay, just 1 second. Ellie, go outside. Go outside. There you go. Highly professional. So reparenting is about building structures for ourselves that are supportive of us creating what we want. And it's not about blaming our parents. It's not about making them wrong, kind of holding on to a defensiveness, but it's more about taking what we've learned from them and getting really clear on what it is that we want to do differently, and then building structures for ourselves the way a really loving parent would to create something new. So for me, some of the things that I want to do differently are taking really good care of myself, even as I contribute to my community. So some of that reparenting is holding myself accountable for self-care, not in a should way, but in a really gentle, loving way. So pacing myself, being realistic about my limits of energy and time, and finding more balance between work and play. So that's just an idea I wanted to share with everyone today. I'm sorry for the dog interruption. My dog Ellie is very partial to chasing chipmunks, so I think that's what happened. But I'd welcome any input from anyone. You can put anything in the comment section if you'd like. I'm happy to answer questions or continue the discussion. But I invite you to think about getting clear on what you do want, moving from criticism or reaction into building something new and defining a new framework for yourself, and doing it with some love and kindness and discipline and sort of like that kind mothering energy almost of there's a firm structure here, and yet it's about loving kindness, not about like should or shaming or anything like that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, I'm Lucy Claire Curran. I'm a vocational and effectiveness coach for millennials. And take good care. Enjoy your week. Okay, bye.